Hello, so it's currently raining and I'm on the way to set, and I'm a bit under the weather because I think I pushed myself a bit too hard, like physically and mentally. My film is about a family who had recently lost one of the greatest pillars, their mom. During our year 3, we had a project to make, and then my friend, he used this opportunity to share and spread light about his recent passing of his mom. I got moved by his story, the message of how a mom's love never dies, and that sort of inspired me to create this short film.
Because this is such a personal story and my own life is intertwined in the making of this film, this journey of making the film is also a journey of self-development. So originally, my dad and my family, they were quite nonchalant about oh, they're making a mom film. But after they watched the final product on one of our screenings, my dad was quite touched and moved. And I think I really showed him that we've made our mom proud in not only the film, but as a family.
We decided to go with the idea of passion, which is something that we all have in common as animators. We also wanted to pay homage to our Chinese heritage. We have to do everything from story to animating to asset creation to the compositing. What I found most rewarding about making the film is seeing the story from just a character come to life, seeing all his actions play out into a storyline.
The puppet has been performing for a very long time. It is worn out after all of that. However, at the end of the day, the puppet is not forgotten or discarded. It is still being honored, being remembered for its performance that it has given back to the society.
It was actually like a Western circus kind of concept. Yeah, but we decided to scrap the idea off because we felt that the Chinese culture, that kind of concept is more relatable to us and more closer to our roots.
Now it's Tuesday, 11 Jan, 8:43 p.m. We are speeding through a last final edit, V4 of the cut.
Throughout the entire film, what really was an eye-opener to me is that their relationship had a lot of different layers where they were very scared of opening up towards each other, especially in such a situation where the mom isn't someone who easily open up in the first place. It made it a bit more difficult for them to understand, especially from Sing Sing's point of view as a child. I think Mr. Leonard is quite an intense lecturer. He would be very honest when he didn't think something was working. But to me, I felt like that was necessary to put the added-on pressure to get where it would be right now. If you put enough pressure on a rock, it can turn into a diamond.
When we were in our pre-production stages, we needed to get a subject to make this documentary film happen, and it was super hard because we didn't know any migrant workers personally. We went down to dormitories, we went down to Little India, we went out places and literally approached migrant workers strangers and asked them, do they want to be part of a film? So I tried to really emphasize the human touch in this film. Vijay is a poet, he has released his own poem books, he's been featured in newspaper articles, so he is an artist himself. And I, as a fellow artist, really wanted to honor him.
So I thought that it would be interesting for us to do a personal film where audiences can look into the life of a grandmother and a granddaughter. There was one point in time where my mom came to me and then she told me Waipo feels a little bit like she's being used. So I showed her videos of what I've done, and then I think after that she felt a little better about it. Sometimes she's very uncooperative also. So it's my crew will sit at the side, then I have to be can you please film this with me?
Look at her. Oh. This is why we need a crew of 4 at least. Give me 5 seconds. Give me 5 seconds.
When we were filming in Ipoh, right, our main challenge was that we had a lot of things to carry because we were only a crew of 3. Cherish and Glenda, they were very hardworking. They carried everything, they made sure everything was shot well. I was crying on the 5th night because I really didn't want to leave. It was such an emotional experience for me, personally.
When I was working on the series about Tanglin Court, I came across Uncle Albert. He's one of those elderly who's staying alone and then in his 60s and then has quite a lonely past. And I think that's the plight of many Singaporean senior citizens nowadays. Even though he's in his 60s, He's actually still quite like a child inside. And all he wants is some form of connection and love from people. And for Uncle Albert's story, it was really about honoring neighbors in such a way that they are like family.
To me, honor can be summed up in 3 words: nobility, respect, and principle.
Honor simply means sacrifice. The sacrifices that parents make to get where their children are today.
I feel like migrant workers, they deserve to be valued and respected for everything they go through.
It's about honoring a person, which is my grandmother, and then telling her story to audiences, and then making sure like, oh, her name is known.
Honor means recognizing and celebrating the efforts that people go through to achieve their dreams.
Honor is a value that can be very powerful in changing somebody's life. When you start honoring your neighbors or the people around you, and by doing that, there is that ripple effect.
Honor is about appreciating all the mothers and fathers out there who have sacrificed so much for their loved ones.
3、2、1，收工！
Can or not? How?